let's work with the next skill. So there are two things we want to build. One is a skill which should implement this spec, and second is we need to build specs. So first, let's build a spec. Now, for whatever new feature, we can just write that in the specs folder, and that should work. And to do that, for different features, I can create a feature folder here, and let's create features. So the first feature I want to build is maybe task filtering .md. Now this is where you can have your specifications. So I have the entire spec ready with me here, which is task filtering on get API's task. So basically it will add a query parameter support this for front end so that you can filter something like this. You can add a state for editing, maybe filter based on the assigned role. A different option. So apart from this, what you want to achieve, you can also write the acceptance criteria, and this is important. And sometime, in fact, you can write in your skill without acceptance criteria. Don't try to build, right? Otherwise, what's the use of building something if you're not following the right approach, which is working with the acceptance criteria. Out of scope things are also mentioned here so that it will not work on these things. And we have also written how do we do the smoke test. Okay, perfect. So now I think it will face issues with the code because let's verify the model once. So backend app model. Okay, it is small. I thought all are capital here. My bad. Yeah, but the admin content is capital. Are they checking anything with the admin content? Invalid editing? No. Yeah. Video. It should be editor, not video editor. But let's see how it able to do this. That's really interesting. Okay, let's create. So we have done with the specification. It's trying to create a skill which will implement this particular specification. And to do that, let's go to skills and create a new folder, a new skill. And we'll say this is implement spec. And in this, as usual, we'll create a skill.md file, and this is where you will put your skill. So this is the skill. Again, I have to say enter. Now, again, as I mentioned, creating skill is a skill. Of course, you can take help of AI to build a skill for you, but make sure that you read this skill properly before executing it or before using it. Since I have tested this before, I made few changes, but it's working now. Hopefully, this will work on the same project. So implement a feature described in a markdown spec file, and that should be under this particular folder. Read the specs, build the feature end-to-end across schemas, service, routes, and run the smoke test for spec. Again, we are not testing we are not changing the front end here. Then we are providing the inputs as well. So basically, you will be passing the argument, something like this. You will call the implement spec and you will pass the arguments. So which particular feature you want to implement. And then, okay, steps. These are the steps it will follow to do that. Again, since we are saying extract the acceptance criteria, what if you don't mention the acceptance criteria? I want to reject it. So see here, if the spec has no acceptance criteria section, stop. Tell the user the specs needs acceptance criteria before implementation. And this is important if you want to be a good engineer. It will also say they extract the out of scope items, and then your skills like this, where we are going to implement the feature, should match with the feature. So build the skill first and then build the feature according to it. Run smoke test, report, and hard rules. Something you can follow. So we have built the skill here, and let's verify if the skill is available. So I can just say implement spec. Yeah, it is there. Okay, stop it. Implement spec, and then you can pass the argument. The argument is you have to go to the specs folder. I don't know why the specs folder looks wrong. So the spelling looks wrong, but yeah, that's specs. Inside that, you will go to feature, and then the feature is task filtering.md. So we have built the feature and we have built a skill. So next time if you want to build a feature, just write a new feature and just run the same command. Let's see if it is implementing. I think it will just get in a loop of the smoke test because there's a spelling, the capital, small have an issue. Okay, looks like a bug in VS Code. Okay, I don't know what happened. It just crashed. So let me just open Claude once again. A lot of bugs. Whom should I report to? Of course, it looks like a VS Code problem here. Switch the model to Sonnet. first let me just check the context. It should be empty. We have opened the new one. Okay. So slash implement spec slash feature slash task filtering dot md. So by the time it is doing this, let me open a new window here and let me show you some inbuilt bundled skills available, which you have not seen maybe. So one is the code review, which is also a skill. Then there is something called debug, which you can use. And there's one which we have discussed before. And there's also verify, which you can't see. It's so weird. I'm not sure what is going wrong. Is it the VS Code? Or is it my screen recording software? Okay. It has read the entire specification. It looks good. And it starts changing the code. Good. Let me check if the backend is running. Yes, check. Backend is not running. Starting now. So doing the smoke test. Next smoke test. It will fail, right? There's no editing state, is it? I think we do have editing state. Editing is there. There are 6 tasks in the DB, none is editing. Okay, so we have moved the data, right? Maybe that's an issue. Perfect. I think more time is going because of the smoke test which we are doing. And that's important, right? Testing is very important. We should also write some test cases, test the backend part of it using unit test. I think it has created a folder as well, test. But we're not doing much. There should be a separate agent I should run, or a work tree which will implement all the test cases. The video could be much shorter if I've skipped the testing criteria. Okay, spec note requiring human review. Okay, the spec is section as it is would return filter, but it is not a valid assigned role. That's right. Or the spec one validation rule. Okay. It has implemented, but then it is saying that something went wrong because in the task we have editor, not video editor. So the smoke test itself is wrong. So maybe I could just go there and change it. But at this point, now we know how it works. We can just verify the code once. What are the changes it made? So I can just say diff. There have been changes in the implementation. Okay, changes here. Let's see what it added. So list tasks, filter by stadia. So it has implemented it. It's just that because of the wrong spec, it is failing. But that's fine. That's my problem. Right? I have to change it. I should have written properly. But that's fine. Things works out. So the important thing is now you know how do you build your own skills and how do we do this spec driven development. So basically first you write the spec, then you ask the coding assistants to work on it. Don't just get into the vibe coding part. So that's it from this part. Let's see the next one.